This exact video did not exist in your reality until your consciousness demanded an answer. The moment you felt that strange, heavy emptiness inside, your mind sent a ripple across the quantum fabric, collapsing the probability wave into this very moment. You are here because you are searching for a reason behind the void you feel. Today, we are going to expose the hidden mechanics of the observer effect and the vast, unseen quantum field that surrounds you. I promise you, by the time this video ends, you will completely stop fearing the emptiness. You will finally understand your true, unmatched power as the active creator of your own physical experience. Tell me, have you ever felt like you were just floating through life lately, completely disconnected from things that used to bring you joy, as if you are waiting for something massive to happen? Before we dive into the secret of the void, you must understand the metaphysical reality you inhabit. You do not live in a solid, fixed universe. You live in a swirling ocean of infinite possibilities, known to mystics and modern scientists alike as the quantum field. In this field, every possible future, every timeline, and every version of you exists simultaneously as an invisible wave of probability. These waves remain formless and invisible until one specific thing interacts with them. That thing is conscious observation. The observer effect proves that the universe requires your direct attention to turn energy into physical matter. Observation is not just looking at something with your physical eyes. It is the deep internal alignment of your thoughts, emotions, and expectations. You are not a passive passenger in this lifetime. You are the ultimate projector, beaming your internal state onto the holographic screen of the physical world. But what if I told you that the emptiness you are feeling right now is not a symptom of depression, nor is it a sign that you are lost in life? Society has conditioned you to be absolutely terrified of the void. From the moment you were born, you were taught to constantly fill your mind, your schedule, and your heart with noise, people, and endless external activities. When a sudden sense of profound emptiness washes over you, your immediate biological and psychological response is panic. You falsely believe that something is broken inside of your soul. You rush to your mobile devices, to mindless entertainment, to forced conversations, just to escape the terrifying silence of your own mind. But what if I told you that this exact feeling of nothingness is the most sacred state a human being can ever experience? This is not a psychological crisis at all. It is a profound spiritual and physical reset. The universe is stripping away the outdated frequencies of your past to create a pure, unblemished space. In the realm of energy, you simply cannot build a new reality on the crumbling foundation of the old one. The emptiness you are so desperately trying to run away from is actually the raw material of creation itself. By running from it, you are rejecting the very canvas upon which your brand new life is about to be painted. You must stop viewing this void as an enemy. To understand the profound power of this emptiness, you must look at how the quantum field actually operates. The quantum field is a realm of absolute nothingness that contains absolutely everything. It is the zero-point energy field where time and space cease to exist. When you feel empty inside, your personal energy signature is actually mirroring the exact state of the quantum field. You are becoming a vibrational match to the source of all creation. Think of your consciousness as a highly advanced architectural software. If your software is entirely full of old files, toxic relationships, limiting beliefs, and past traumas, there is zero memory left to download a new life program. The feeling of the void is simply the sensation of your internal hard drive being wiped clean. The field needs this vacuum. Nature, both physical and metaphysical, completely abhors a vacuum. When a true void is created within your consciousness, the universe is governed by universal law to rush in and fill it. But if you quickly fill that void with cheap distractions and old habits out of fear, you interrupt the divine download. You must learn to sit completely still within the blank space, knowing that the blank space is the womb of your future. Let us talk about the illusion of loss, which is deeply tied to this quantum emptiness. Often, this void appears right after a major life transition. Perhaps a long-term relationship suddenly ended. Perhaps you lost a job you thought was secure. Or maybe old friends have simply faded out of your daily reality. Your ego interprets this as a devastating loss, and the emptiness feels like grief. But from the perspective of quantum mechanics, this is merely a reconfiguration of atomic structures and energy patterns. The observer effect dictates that your past observation collapsed those specific people and situations into your reality. But as your internal frequency began to rise through your spiritual awakening, those old structures could no longer sustain their physical form in your new vibration. They had to dissolve back into the wave of probability. The resulting emptiness is the proof that your frequency has successfully shifted. The universe has cleared the stage. The old actors have left, and the curtains are drawn. This is the exact moment where 99% of people panic and try to drag the old actors back onto the stage. You must be smarter than that. You must recognize the clearing as a massive quantum victory. It is precisely here that the true power of your observation comes into play. How you observe the void determines what will physically manifest next. If you look at the emptiness and constantly tell yourself a story of lack, loneliness, and despair, you are actively instructing the quantum field. Your thoughts are electric, and your emotions are magnetic. Together, they form an electromagnetic field that communicates with the universe. By observing the void with fear, you are collapsing the wave of probability into more events that will make you feel fearful and lonely. You become trapped in a self-fulfilling loop of negative manifestation. However, if you shift your perception and observe the emptiness as an ocean of limitless potential, everything changes instantly. You must look into the void and say, "I see you, I welcome you, and I know you are the fertile soil of my new life." When you observe the emptiness with a feeling of deep peace and quiet anticipation, the quantum field responds to that specific frequency. It begins to organize circumstances, people, and events that match the vibration of peaceful expansion. Your observation is the absolute commander of the field. This brings us to the concept of the emotional zero point. In physics, zero-point energy is the lowest possible energy that a quantum mechanical system may have, yet it contains massive, dormant power. In your spiritual journey, the emotional zero point is the state of total neutrality. You are not overly excited, and you are not depressed. You simply are. When you feel empty, you are naturally hovering very close to this zero point. Most people think they need to force themselves to feel intense, high-vibrational joy every single second to manifest their desires. This is incredibly exhausting and often leads to burnout. The secret that master manifestors know is that neutrality is actually a highly creative state. When you are at the emotional zero point, there is no resistance. There is no desperate grasping, and there is no anxious fear. You are completely detached from the outcome. In this state of peaceful detachment, the quantum field faces zero interference from your ego. The energy flows smoothly, moving from the invisible realm into the material plane. By embracing the empty, neutral feeling, you are removing the massive blockages of doubt and desperation. Let us explore the profound space between your thoughts. The emptiness you feel is often accompanied by mental stillness, where the usual chaotic chatter of the mind simply stops. Mystics and meditators spend decades trying to achieve this exact state of mental silence. Why? Because the gap between your thoughts is the direct doorway to the quantum field. When you are constantly thinking, you are anchoring yourself firmly in the illusion of time, dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. But in the silent gap, time completely collapses. You enter the eternal now. It is in this exact fraction of a second, within the silent void, that true quantum creation occurs. When you experience this emptiness, do not rush to turn on the television or listen to a podcast. Sit in silence for just 5 minutes. Focus entirely on the empty space inside your chest or your mind. Realize that this space is not a lack of something. It is the presence of the infinite. By extending the duration of this gap, you expand your direct connection to the source code of reality. You become a conscious hacker of the matrix, rewriting your destiny from the quietest place within you. As you begin to comfortably hold this empty space, you will start to notice a fascinating phenomenon. The quantum field will begin to send you feedback. This feedback comes in the form of synchronicity. Synchronicity is not a random coincidence. It is the mathematical language of the universe, proving that your internal state is currently entangled with external physical events. When you stop fighting the void, you might suddenly start seeing repeating number patterns like 1111 or 333 everywhere you go. You might think of an obscure song, and exactly 3 seconds later, it plays on the radio. You might experience a profound sense of déjà vu. These are not meaningless accidents. They are tiny, harmless manifestations meant to show you that the veil between the physical and the quantum is incredibly thin right now. The field is essentially testing the connection, sending you small blips of data to confirm that you are online and receptive. When you witness these synchronicities, do not dismiss them. Acknowledge them. Smile at them. Use them as solid proof that the emptiness is working its magic, preparing to deliver the larger desires you have been holding in your heart. You must understand the immense danger of rushing the process. We live in a microwave society where everyone demands instant gratification. When the void appears, the urge to artificially fill it is incredibly strong. People jump into toxic relationships just to avoid sleeping alone. They take jobs they absolutely hate just to feel a false sense of security. They engage in destructive habits just to feel a temporary spike in dopamine. Every time you do this, you are sending a clear message to the quantum field. You are essentially saying, I do not trust you to fill this space with something magnificent, so I will fill it with garbage instead. And the universe, honoring your free will step back and allow you to live in the garbage. You abort the magnificent manifestation just moments before it breaks through into the physical dimension. To master the quantum shift, you must develop the spiritual stamina to sit in the discomfort. You must become completely okay with not knowing what happens next. The unknown is the only place where the new can truly exist. If you only stick to what is known, you will only ever recreate your past. Let us look at a real-life example of how this quantum mechanic plays out. Imagine a person who has spent 10 years in a career that drains their soul. They finally gather the courage to quit, or perhaps the universe forces their hand, and they are let go. Suddenly, they wake up on a Monday morning, and there is nowhere to go. The inbox is completely empty. The phone is utterly silent. This is the terrifying void. The ego screams that they will starve, that they are worthless, that they have made a fatal mistake. But if this person understands quantum physics, they take a deep breath. They realize that this terrifying silence is the exact energetic space required to attract their true life purpose. Instead of frantically sending out resumes in a state of sheer panic, they spend a few days in quiet reflection. They align their frequency with their highest passion. Because they did not immediately fill the void with panic-driven actions, 3 weeks later, they randomly bump into an old acquaintance at a coffee shop. who offers them a partnership in a business they always dreamed of. The void was the necessary bridge to the new timeline. This leads us to the reality of quantum entanglement. In the microscopic world, when two particles become entangled, they remain connected no matter how much physical distance separates them. If you change the spin of one particle, the other particle instantly changes its spin, even if it is on the other side of the galaxy. This defies all classical laws of space and time. Now, apply this to your own consciousness. When you desire a new reality, whether it is profound health, massive financial abundance, or deep romantic love, you become energetically entangled with that future version of yourself. That future reality already exists in the quantum field as a wave of probability. The emptiness you feel right now is the energetic tension of that entanglement pulling you forward. It feels like a void because you are temporarily suspended between the old physical particle of your past and the new physical particle of your future. You are currently in the wave state. You are literally traveling through the quantum realm. The emptiness is the sensation of spiritual travel. You must trust the entanglement to pull you to the exact coordinates of your deepest desire. To successfully navigate this wave state, you must visualize your reality as uncollapsed. Think of your life right now not as a solid room with locked doors, but as a vast, dark theater filled with infinite potential holograms. The emptiness is the darkness before the projector is turned on. When you desperately try to figure out the exact how and when of your manifestation, you are shining a tiny, weak flashlight into the dark, illuminating only small, limited fragments of what is possible. You are restricting the universe. But when you relax into the void and simply hold the high-frequency feeling of the end result, you are turning on the master projector. You allow the quantum field to organize the infinite variables in ways your human brain could never possibly calculate. The field has access to billions of people, infinite resources, and perfect timing. Your only job is to provide the destination through your unwavering observation. The field's job is to map out the journey. By accepting the emptiness, you are handing the steering wheel over to the infinite intelligence of the universe. Consider the phenomenon of a sudden, unexplainable inspiration. You are sitting quietly, perhaps staring blankly out of a window, feeling entirely empty. Suddenly, a brilliant idea strikes you like a bolt of lightning. It feels completely foreign, as if it was beamed into your head from an external source. In metaphysical terms, this is exactly what happened. Because you were in a state of emptiness, your brainwaves slowed down from the chaotic beta state into the receptive alpha or theta state. You essentially became an open antenna. In that moment of low resistance, a highly evolved probability wave from the quantum field intersected with your consciousness. The idea you received was the first collapsing particle of a massive new reality. This is how billion-dollar businesses are conceived. This is how breathtaking art is created. It never comes from a noisy, cluttered, stressed-out mind. It always comes from the void. If you want to receive the blueprint for your highest destiny, you must fiercely protect the empty spaces in your day. Do not view boredom as a curse. View it as the launch pad for divine inspiration. It is also crucial to understand the role of your physical body during this quantum transition. Your body is essentially a highly dense biological manifestation of your past thoughts and emotions. It is chemically addicted to your past state of being. When your consciousness decides to leap into a new timeline and embraces the void, your physical body often goes through a withdrawal period. The emptiness is not just mental, it is a visceral, somatic experience. You might feel a strange, hollow sensation in your stomach or a tightness in your chest. Your cells are literally confused because they are no longer receiving the familiar chemical cocktails of stress, drama, and familiar routine. This somatic void is a profound biological healing process. Your nervous system is recalibrating to handle the higher electrical current of your new reality. You must be incredibly gentle with your physical vessel during this time. Drink plenty of water, rest when you feel tired, and do not judge your body for feeling strange. It is shedding the dense skin of the past to physically hold the massive light of your impending manifestation. Let us talk about the concept of magnetism within the void. We established that the universe abhors a vacuum. This means that a state of emptiness is actually the most magnetic state in the entire cosmos. When you are completely full, you repel new experiences because there is absolutely no room for them to enter. But when you are empty, you become a powerful, gravitational black hole for new manifestations. The longer you can comfortably sustain the feeling of the void without panicking, the stronger your magnetic pull becomes. It is like pulling back the string of a bow. The further back you pull it into the empty space, the greater the kinetic energy stored, and the further the arrow will fly when released. Your patience within the emptiness is directly proportional to the magnitude of the reality you are about to collapse. If you can only endure the void for one day, you will manifest something small. If you can hold the peace within the void for weeks or months, completely unbothered by the lack of physical evidence, you will collapse a reality so magnificent it will completely shatter your previous paradigm. To master this, you must radically shift your core identity. Right now, you probably identify deeply with your external circumstances. You think you are your job title, your bank account balance, or your relationship status. So, when those things are removed and the void appears, you feel like you are dying. The ego is indeed dying, but you must remember that you are not the projection on the screen. You are the light shining through the film. You must become the conscious observer. The conscious observer stands completely apart from the physical drama. When the emptiness hits, the observer simply watches it happen. The observer says, "Ah, I see we are in the clearing phase right now. How fascinating." By detaching your identity from the changing external world and anchoring it in the eternal, unchanging quantum observer within you, you become untouchable. The void no longer threatens your existence. It merely serves as a tool for your next grand experiment in physical reality. You transition from being a helpless victim of circumstance to the undisputed master architect of your life. As you hold your position as the conscious observer, you must cultivate the specific frequency of expectation. Expectation is very different from hope. Hope implies doubt. Hope says, "I really wish this will happen, but I am terrified it will not." Expectation is absolute, cold, hard certainty. Expectation is knowing that the sun will rise tomorrow morning. When you look into the quantum void, you must do so with the unwavering expectation that it is already forming your desire. You do not need to see the seed germinating under the dark soil to know that the plant is growing. You water the empty dirt with complete faith. In the quantum field, your expectation acts as the final gravitational force that forces the wave of probability to collapse into a physical particle. If you observe the void with expectation, the universe has no choice but to bend to your absolute certainty. You literally command the atoms to arrange themselves according to your precise will. This is not arrogance. It is the fundamental law of quantum mechanics applied to human consciousness. One of the greatest traps during this phase is the obsession with how the manifestation will arrive. The human brain is a linear processing machine. It operates strictly on past data and logical step-by-step progressions. If you want $1 million, your brain will try to calculate a rigid, exhausting path to get there, usually involving decades of hard labor. But the quantum field is entirely nonlinear. It operates through quantum leaps, bypassing logical steps entirely. When you demand to know how the void will be filled, you drag the infinite field down into the severely limited parameters of your human brain. You choke the manifestation. You must entirely surrender the how to the universe. Your only responsibility is the what and the why. The emptiness is the very mechanism that allows the universe to surprise you. It opens the door for a random phone call, an unexpected inheritance, a sudden chance meeting that changes the entire trajectory of your life in an instant. Let the void remain mysterious. In that mystery lies the magic of spontaneous creation. Eventually, there will come a precise moment of collapse. You will be going about your day, perhaps still feeling that quiet emptiness, when suddenly the wave turns into a particle. The event happens. The manifestation physically drops into your reality. It is crucial to understand how this moment feels. It will not feel like a frantic, desperate victory. Because you have spent so much time peacefully aligning with it in the void, when it finally arrives, it will feel completely natural. It will feel incredibly normal. You will not be shocked because you have already been living with the energetic reality of it for weeks or months. This feeling of absolute naturalness is the ultimate proof that you successfully collapsed the wave. The new reality perfectly matches your new baseline frequency. You have essentially grown into the manifestation before it even arrived. The void stretched your capacity to receive, so that when the massive blessing finally fell into your life, it did not crush you. It fit perfectly into the space you so bravely held open. Let us consider the profound, real-life experience of meeting a soulmate. Often, before a person meets their ultimate partner, they go through a period of intense, seemingly unbearable romantic emptiness. All past toxic partners have been removed. Every date they go on feels incredibly dull and meaningless. They feel like they are the only person left on a barren planet. This is the romantic void. They have finally stopped settling for low-frequency connections, creating a massive energetic vacuum. If they hold that space without crawling back to an ex out of loneliness, the quantum field prepares the perfect match. Then, on a random Tuesday, they drop their keys in a grocery store. Another person picks them up, their eyes meet, and the universe instantly collapses the wave. In a fraction of a second, the emptiness is entirely replaced by a profound, life-altering connection. The years of feeling completely empty were strictly necessary to prepare their heart for the exact frequency of true, unconditional love. The void was never a punishment. It was the ultimate divine protection. As you step into your completely new, manifested timeline, there is one final rule of quantum observation. You must not look back at the void with fear, and you must not fear its eventual return. Life is a beautiful, eternal cycle of expansion. You will enjoy your new reality for a time, but eventually, your soul will desire even more growth. When that time comes, the current structures will again begin to dissolve, and you will feel the familiar sensation of the emptiness returning. Next time, you will not panic. You will smile. You will welcome the void like an old, trusted friend. You will know exactly what it means. It means you are leveling up again. It means the universe is preparing another massive upgrade. You are a master of the quantum field, forever collapsing waves of infinite potential into breathtaking physical experiences. The emptiness is not the end of your story. It is the blank page where you pick up the pen and write the next glorious chapter of your existence. The ultimate truth is this. You are not a tiny, insignificant speck living inside a massive, chaotic reality. You are reality itself, observing itself into physical existence. The emptiness you have been running from is the greatest gift the quantum field could ever offer you. It is the sacred, silent space where your highest timeline is currently being forged. Stop distracting yourself. Stop fearing the silence. Embrace the void, for it is the canvas of your unimaginable future. Thank you for stepping into this space of profound remembrance with me today. If this message resonated perfectly with your soul, subscribe to the channel to continue mastering your reality. Hit the like button to seal this frequency. To activate this quantum shift right now, go to the comments and type, "I am the conscious observer, commanding the quantum void to manifest my highest reality." Let me ask you, what strange signs or sudden synchronicities have you noticed in your life since this feeling of emptiness began? Share your experiences below, as your story might be the exact confirmation someone else needs today.